Warning, the following program contains scenes of coarse language, adult situations. Viewer discretion is advised. Probably should have done that before the first one. I always laugh when they say adult situations, whenever they do warnings, and they say, like, somebody's going to wait online at the bank and then be denied a bank loan. Like, what's an adult situation? Viewer discretion is advised. The first time I heard that, I was watching TV with my parents, and I was sitting in my chair, and then when they said viewer discretion, I sat up, and I cocked an eyebrow, and my dad looked over at me and he said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm being discreet. Because in my young, unpolluted mind, that was being discreet. And I watched the whole show like that. It's like, stop doing that. The TV asked me. I'm obeying the television. Because that's what I thought discreet was. But they didn't used to do warnings before everything like they do now. Like, everything has a warning now. When I was a kid, the only time they warned you was on the news when they were going to show something really violent. And they were like, we have footage of a guy getting killed with a rattlesnake bites his whole head off. Viewer discretion advised. And then they'd show it, and then they'd be like, ooh, that was rough. But that was it. Now they put warnings in front of everything. Which I don't get, because ever since I was a very small child, I was told that we're desensitized, you know? Like, oh, we see so many violent deaths, we're desensitized. But if we're really desensitized, why do we need warnings before everything? Shouldn't we just watch it? Why do we need to be warned that there's going to be swearing in a movie or something? I don't get it. I think, if anything, we're more sensitive now. I was reading an article in Newsweek, and it said that by the time a child is 13, they will see 1,400 murders on television. And I was thinking, what channel is that? Because I don't have murder TV. I'm flipping up and down. All I find is sitcoms and sports. How are they seeing 1,400 deaths? I've been watching TV steadily since I was a child. I'm 34 years old. I haven't seen that many murders yet. I'm going to call up my cable provider. Give me the murder channel. Give me the one where the kids see all the deaths. Viewer discretion. I rented a movie the other day. It said, rated R for pervasive language. I took pervasive as meaning spread throughout. They're going to talk all the way through the movie? How rude! I should hope they talk. The movie's not going to make any sense if they all become fucking mimes in the last 10 minutes. Like, fuck, what happened to the sound? Shit, they're not talking. Every movie has pervasive language. But they don't mean language, they mean the dirty words. They mean fuck and shit and twat and all that. Like, when they say language in a movie, rated R for language, they don't mean that they're talking. They mean bad language and foul language. I don't get warnings. I understand why they put warnings on movies, but I don't agree with the ratings on movies. I think there should only be 2 ratings on movies. B for boring, and G for grown up. That means there's going to be sex and violence and all the other stuff that makes life worth living. Because when I see a warning before a show, and they warn me that there's going to be violence and graphic whatever, I get pissed off if it's a boring show. Because I'm like, well, they warned me. Okay, I'm going to leave it. That to me is that's incentive to watch the show. And then at the end, there's no violence or sex. I'm like, well, what the fuck was the warning about? That's just a sneaky way to make you watch television, I think. I think that's how they do it. And you have to say it in that Bill Curtis voice, too. Viewer discretion advised. Unless you watch IFC, because then they have the pothead do the warning. Right? The following picture has violence and coarse language. He sounds baked. He sounds high out of his mind. It is so true. But they have film ratings. They have G for guidance, or general admission, I think it means. Is it general? So just G for general. which means it's generally going to be a boring fucking movie. That's what it means. That's what G means. But the G in PG means guidance. Parental guidance. Parental guidance. Has anybody ever had a parent guide them through a movie? Like if I was watching a movie and they like rip some guy's arm off, my dad would have just said, "Holy shit! Did you see that? They ripped his arm off. Holy shit! Where's the guidance there? That's not guiding. Like, yeah, I saw it." And then they have PG-13, that's the next one up. That rating didn't exist until Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out. A lot of people don't know that. When Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out, there was a scene in it where there's this guy on a sacrifice thing, he's on the altar, and then this crazy guy with like the Chiquita banana lady hat, she's like, "I'm gonna rip out this guy's heart." And then he goes, and he rips out the heart, and it's still beating. He's like, and Indiana Jones is like, "Oh, I hope I don't have to fight him." And then but when they rated that movie, as soon as the film censor saw it, they were like, "Rated R." Right off the, you rip a fucking guy's heart out of his chest, that's rated R. No child can see this. And Paramount Pictures was like, well, come on. It's Spielberg. He made E.T. Fucking just let him rip out a heart. And they were like, "No, you ripped out a heart. It's rated R." And then Paramount's like, "Well, what if he didn't rip the heart out? What's it gonna cost us?" And the film censor said, "Just cut out that scene, it'll be fine." So they went to Spielberg and they were like, "Cut out the ripping heart scene." And he was like, "No, you need that scene, because then at the end, Indiana Jones fights that guy on a bridge, and then that builds the tension, because you know, oh no, they're gonna rip his heart out, oh no." Spielberg was like, "Fuck you, I'm not changing a second of that movie. I might add in another scene. Alright, how about that? I'll rip out 3 hearts. Alright, I'll rip off his dick. I'm fucking Steven Spielberg. You will do not tell me what to do, I tell you what to do." So Paramount said, "Okay." He doesn't want to change the scene because of artistic merit. But how about this? Instead of PG, we say PG-13. Because any 13-year-old can see a heart get ripped out. That's not a big deal, right? They're fucking 13, come on, they're smoking pot, they're having sex, who cares? And the film censor said, "Well, thank you for the check, Paramount. Yes, PG-13. And that's when they invented PG-13. After that is 14A. And now that's AA, for adult accompaniment. If you're under 14, which I don't get, because if they have PG-13, what the fuck is 14A for? What could you handle at 14 seeing that at 13 you were like, "No, I can't handle that." But at 14, "Oh yeah, I can see the heart getting ripped out now. Oh, I rip out a heart twice a week. I don't give a shit. Rip out 100 hearts. Rip off his dick. I don't give a shit. I'm 14. Come on." But 13. Ooh, that's ridiculous. Adult accompaniment. I used to have to bother my poor sister here to take me to adult accompaniment films, because I love movies. I'll go see all of them. I didn't care. And then they had rated R and rated restricted. Ooh. That meant the movie was going to be fun. There was going to be death and sex in it, so I had to see all the rated R movies. But then they got rid of that, and now it's, in the States, they have NC-17. Which to me, isn't that the same as restricted? Because if you're 17 and younger, you can't see the movie. So that's just rated R. But it means you really can't see it. That's all NC-17 is for. I don't get the ratings now. And then they have rated X. Do they still do rated X? Like, if you can watch porn for free online, do they really need a rated X anymore? Like, you can pretty much access all the stuff. Rated X meant, rated R meant you had to be 18 to see it. Rated X meant have a tissue handy, because you're probably going to come up. No, that's what it meant. That's what it meant. It meant have Kleenex handy. X marks the spot, the wet spot on your fucking couch, because you had to watch a dirty movie. Plug her ear. It gets worse. If you're going to use Kleenex, though, don't use bathroom tissue. Use the stuff with lotion, because you will dry out down there.